Hi there, this is Beth Turner here on The Huddle, and today I'm with Rhea Loney, the Chief Compliance Officer of BetMGM. Rhea, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So I'd love to start today by getting to know a little bit about your role. What are the key components of it, and are there any parts of your role that maybe people don't talk about very much?
Yeah, I think that it is functionally, you can always talk about licensing, AML, regulatory, RG, player protection, you all have technical components. But more broadly, culturally, and I think this can go into some of the challenges. How do you ensure that you're building a culture of compliance? Are you at the table with the rest of the executives? You have to balance what does the business want to do? How does the business want to evolve with then all of your compliance considerations? And so you can't be the no team. So you have to figure out how you thread that needle, focusing on being compliant, but also no one wants to involve people at the seat at the table if you're always saying no. So I think that that's a balance, and that can be one of the challenges that probably doesn't get talked about enough.
So regulation is constantly changing and evolving. How do you keep up with that?
Yeah, it's definitely a few parts of it. I think there's some things that your team can do, and again, you have to culturally have your company invest in the resources to help do this. You can monitor the regulatory public meetings, you can monitor their websites, you can get on listservs that send out emails, and the administrative process requires you to have rulemaking notice, things like that, but also communication with the regulator. If you're communicating with the regulator on a regular basis, you're having regular meetings, usually you know about rule changes long before they're posted on the website or they come out. And then you want to talk to your business. What do we think about these rules? Are we uncomfortable with them? Do they do the intent that they want? Is there a better way? And then you comment on the rules. And then ultimately you have conversations to try to find what's that balance between what the regulator wants and what you might want the rule to do. And that's a dance.
And are there currently any areas of regulation that BetMGM has its eyes on at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, we're always watching whatever's happening. Whatever's happening with any regulation, we're watching it. I mean, I think, Massachusetts has had a lot of tension on the stakes and the limiting of players, so we're watching that closely, participating in the meetings, providing information at their request. Also, Pennsylvania recently has put out new potential KYC rules that are going to potentially require ID, be much more strict KYC requirements, so I think we're monitoring that as well. We also monitor certain legislation that might be changes that will impact us as well. Any legislation with market access, and then we pay very close attention to new states, right? So we're all watching Missouri. Licensing regulations are out, other regulations more to come. So we pay very close attention when the state launches.
Absolutely. So we're here at ICE Barcelona today, and you've just done a panel here on tech and compliance and all those fun issues. So for you personally, what technology has most affected your role recently?
I think the one thing, and I think about this often, one thing that I'm really proud of at BetMGM, and it was not my idea, it was someone on the team brought this to us, but the Kindbridge Behavioral Health. It feels so impactful. And what the Kindbridge Behavioral Health Program is, whenever a patron on our website, on our app, self-excludes, or if they've indicated that they have an RG concern to the level that we're going to close their account, we provide them the Kindbridge Behavioral Health link. And what this link is, it's a link to an assessment to see, do you potentially have a problem gambling concern, so you get to do your own health assessment, addiction assessment, and then it actually transfers you to a certified addiction specialist that's going to be licensed in that particular state that you're in. And so at your fingertips, you can get an assessment and you can actually get treatment. And when I think about innovation that's incredibly impactful, this feels really impactful for our player database, for those that might be experiencing potential harm. And so to me, when we say has impacted me the most, this is one of those that I go, everyone needs to do this. And I feel really passionately about that.
That actually leads very well into my next question. You said in the panel that we are just scratching the surface of what we can do between data and RG. What do you think that future looks like? What is beyond the surface to you?
Yeah, if you'd have said to me 5 years ago, would we have Kindbridge, and would the business as a whole be in the industry wrapping their arms around this, saying yes, absolutely, provide this direct access, I wouldn't have thought of that. I wouldn't have said, oh, that's a great idea. So I don't know exactly what it is, but I know, there's all types of different things that are coming up that's out there, and I think technology needs to be innovative, and they need to bring to the operators potential things that maybe at first glance we go, no, maybe we're not ready for that yet, but might be where we're going in a few years. So we all need to explore all the possibilities. Whenever people reach out with potential RG items, someone on the team talks to them, we see what's out there, because it might be something that we want to start looking at doing. Maybe if it's not tomorrow, but in the years to come. So I don't know. I don't know what those solutions are. I'm an attorney. I'm not the most creative person. Sometimes I think that I'm good at marketing, but I don't know what they are. But I know there's a lot more to come in this area.
Interesting. So David Rebuck was on the panel with you as well today, and something he brought up that I thought was quite interesting was the difference between data and AI and how those things can be used and kind of the differences between them. What's your thoughts on that and how AI can be used versus how data can be used for these issues?
Yeah, I mean, we have so much data already, and I think that's what he was referring to, is that we have all this data, and I think what AI comes into is, how are the algorithms? What are you doing with it all? What programs are you writing? What are you learning from it in the future? I think as a whole, companies should be concerned about protecting their data. We have a lot of data for a lot of players, and it's imperative for us to protect that. We have a contract with the player, our terms of services, so we need to do a lot to protect the player, but we also have an obligation to use it to fight fraud, to use it for RG and player protection, and to use it for integrity. And so data's a balancing act like everything else. Protect it while also making sure you're moving towards the public policy and you're protecting the industry and the integrity of the industry, which is paramount for us as operators and regulators.
So one thing you mentioned as being something of an issue is how in the US with self-exclusion, there's 30 different ways to self-exclude, there's 30 different lists, there's a lot of kind of technicalities within it all. Do you think there's like a fix, or if not a fix, a way that some of the issues that you are facing could be streamlined?
Yeah, so the last couple of years, BetMGM and other major operators, maybe 8, 10 of us now, quite a few have formed ROGA. We're a founding member of ROGA, Responsible Online Gambling Association, and we've all come together to say we can do more for this industry around RG. And one of the initiatives is around self-exclusion and is around solving this. So one of the priorities, 2 key things going on right now: education at the college level of campuses around more education of college students around problem gambling concerns, and then also this self-exclusion issue. Actually, they're working on putting out a bid to say, okay, who can provide us this technical service, because this would be really helpful so that it was shared equally across all operators. Another area is making sure that online and digital and retail are always shared with one another with self-exclusion. If you're one business, then you can't risk having someone that's self-excluded in one piece that doesn't carry over to the rest of it.
Absolutely. And just one more just to kind of round out, and this is a massive topic when you're talking about the US, is sweepstakes.
Yeah.
What's your 2 cents on that? What do you think the future of sweepstakes looks like, and how is the issue, do you think, going to be resolved, or what it's going to look like in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a legislator, so I'm not in the position to be legislating. And I think if sweepstakes becomes regulated, it becomes legalized, then it becomes more of a fair and level playing field. However, it's rearing its head. Some states are sending out cease and desist letters, other states are not. It's unclear what happens. Is it even sweepstakes? How are we defining sweepstakes? And so, maybe it comes under the regulated fold, maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. I think New Jersey right now, there's a bill in New Jersey that's kind of looking at that. Do you actually bring it under that online fold? And so, it's a hot topic, and we'll see what happens in the next few years with it.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Ray. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.